So today's video, we are going to take a step back. I've been in crypto on and off since 2017. Just started a YouTube channel. I really enjoy this space. I enjoy learning about new crypto technologies, payment systems. So in the few videos that I've done so far, I have people who are close to me in my circle, family and friends and coworkers, who were gracious enough to watch my videos and give me some feedback. And unanimously, everybody has said, love the video. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I don't understand the terminology. I don't understand the crypto space in general. You know, they don't own any Bitcoin. So I'm going to slow it down a little bit today, and we're going to talk about Bitcoin. I'm going to give you some information on where it happened, or where it started, how it started, who started it, why it's important, how it's mined, right? And some of the terms that go along with it. And then at the end of this video, I'm going to explain how you too can purchase your very first Bitcoin or piece of a Bitcoin. Let's jump right into this, okay? What is Bitcoin? Bitcoin is digital currency. Okay, I think that's probably fairly common. I think a lot of people have heard the term Bitcoin and have a general idea of what it is. You know, it's money on the internet, right? That's what I'm sure most people think about Bitcoin. It doesn't really interact with most people in their daily lives. So nobody's really taken the time to really understand it and learn it unless you're a nerd like me and you really enjoy discussing it like I do. So who's Bitcoin for? Well, Bitcoin is for everybody. Everybody can own Bitcoin. Anybody can, anywhere in the world. Bitcoin started in 2008. This person or group of people calling themselves Satoshi Nakamoto invented it. There was a white paper sent out. Somebody saw it. The code came out. The first couple of years, really no real interest in it. It wasn't really worth anything. 2010 started to pick up some traction. Still, not too many people know about it. Not a lot of people involved with it. It was easy to mine at the time with just a personal computer. Why did it start in 2008? 2008 was the market crash, right? The stock market, the housing market, it was a mess. Satoshi Nakamoto, whoever that is, decided to start a decentralized currency, something the government didn't control, that they could inflate or deflate. They couldn't just print more of it. So this is the reason, this is the explanation of why Bitcoin came about. Now, there are some conspiracy theories out there and other people who think maybe it was a government or a part of the government, maybe our government, maybe a different government, that started this to initiate the control of future currency, right? I don't know if that's real or not, right? Nobody knows. Nobody knows where it started, really. So the government can't control it. Government can't turn it off. There's no switch, right? There's no central authority that is governing this thing. Bitcoin is decentralized, meaning basically it exists on a blockchain on the internet that is controlled by millions of miners all across the world. So you can turn off one miner or 10 miners, but you can't kill Bitcoin. It will continue to exist for the foreseeable future. It's also public. You can go online and you can actually look up wallet addresses and see transactions in real time. You can see where they're coming from and where they're going. Now, it doesn't give you an address, a physical address of, you know, coming from this house to this house, but it gives you a wallet address, and those wallet addresses are generally associated with individuals or companies who are moving Bitcoin around. And at some point, in order to spend that money in the real world, you have to send that Bitcoin to an exchange. That exchange is probably going to have your information, and then you convert that into fiat currency and send it to your bank so that you can actually spend it. So this is not a private, secret crime, you know, criminal enterprise where people launder their money and blackmail and all that stuff. Yeah, sure, it happens, but it's a very small amount. Most crime we know in this world occurs with the US dollar. So Bitcoin is created through mining, and mining is done on a computer. Early in its infancy, it was mined on just any old personal computer you had in your house. You could mine several Bitcoin a day. It didn't really require a lot of computing power. So as Bitcoin has become more prevalent and mining is becoming a big industry, they've come out with these computers, these ASIC, it's called an ASIC miner, which is an application-specific computer designed just to mine Bitcoin. So you really can't mine Bitcoin with your computer anymore. You've got to have some serious computing power, and they call this hash rate. The hash rate is basically the amount of computing power these things have, and you stack them all together in these mega mines. They call them Bitcoin mining farms. This is what it looks like, right? It's enormous, right? These enormous buildings, these warehouses that have to be climate controlled because these miners put off a lot of heat. They require a lot of electricity. There's a lot of power to run these things. I know this is a topic of discussion lately about how green energy needs to get into the Bitcoin mining industry. And I agree. I'm sure it will. A lot of Bitcoin miners are run on green energy. A lot of them run on solar power or run on hydroelectric power. So they're solving these issues, and they're gonna keep working on this over time. So how are these miners actually creating Bitcoin? So Bitcoin is formed when these computers solve complex equations, right? These algorithms they're trying to work with and solve. Once it's solved, that creates a new block of Bitcoin. That block is added to the chain, right? Therefore, blockchain. Each time one of these computers or a group of these computers, which generally requires a lot of them, they finally solve that equation, they're rewarded with that block or a portion of the block, depending upon how much they contributed to the solving of that equation. They also perform the Bitcoin ledger, which is a literal copy of every single transaction that's ever been done with Bitcoin. The selling, the buying, the transferring, the trading. Anytime it goes in and out, anytime anybody's transacting with Bitcoin, it goes on the ledger. It is permanent, cannot be removed, cannot be altered, can't be taken back, it can't be messed with. You can't change details on it. It's literally immutable at that point. It is on the blockchain forever. And each of these computers, each of these miners have to hold the blockchain within them. When a transaction gets done, Billy wants to send Susie money or send Susie Bitcoin. They do that transaction. That transaction gets set on the blockchain. The miners or miners that performed that confirmation of the transaction, they get fees, right? Because you pay a fee when you send anything with Bitcoin. Those fees that you're paying are going to the miners who are confirming these transactions and maintaining the blockchain. So with this picture, you can see how you might shut down one of these warehouses, right? A company or a country may shut down for some reason, but Bitcoin doesn't go anywhere because there are millions of miners all over the world. You would literally have to shut down every single miner and computer out there in order to kill Bitcoin. So the thoughts of that happening, I mean, the odds of that happening are extremely rare. I'd say nearly impossible. So now you might be thinking, with a farm this big, can't these guys just get together, get more of these miners and just mine all the Bitcoin, for themselves, or mine it all in the next year? Well, no, they can't. Actually, within the Bitcoin code, it is written where it needs a stable mining rate. So Satoshi wanted to make sure that the mining lasted for a long time, and it didn't just some company didn't just buy a bunch of computers and then mine it all at once, and then they controlled everything. So in order to do that, the code is written to where the more hash rate, right, the more computing power that goes into mining Bitcoin, the harder the equation gets, the more difficulty there is in solving it. That keeps the mining rate the same the whole time. Now, I've not mined any. Miners have mined 19 million Bitcoin so far out of the 21 million possible Bitcoin. There can never be any more Bitcoin mined. after that very last one is done. Now, how long do you think it's going to take for the last 2 million Bitcoin to be mined? I mean, it's only been 12 years, 13 years of actual mining to get to the 19 million. So we figure, well, it must just be another year or two. We're going to be all done. That's not true. Why is that not true? Because of what is called Bitcoin halving, right? And that's in half. When miners get a reward in the form of Bitcoin, right? It started out in the very beginning that they would get 50 million or 50,000 Bitcoin per mining reward. So that was a lot, right? Every 4 years now, or every 210,000 blocks that are mined, the reward drops in half. So it went from 50,000 to 25,000, then it went to 12,500. In 2020, which was the last halving, it went to 6,250, right? So you can see the rewards are dropping dramatically in a short amount of time, which means the next halving is, estimated March 30th, 2024. So it'll drop from 6,250 to 3,125, and then it will half again 4 years after that in 2028, and so on. So actually, to mine the last 2 million Bitcoin, it's going to take until the year 2140. I know, right? Mind-blowing. 2140. It's going to take another 120 years to mine the last 2 million Bitcoin. That's crazy. It's crazy to think about it. It really is fascinating. So how can you get yourself a piece of Bitcoin, right? I mean, you don't want to pay $35,476 for a Bitcoin right now, or maybe you do. If you do, congratulations. I don't have a whole Bitcoin. You can buy a fraction of a Bitcoin. You can buy literally a fraction of a penny of a Bitcoin. It can be divided up that much. So each unit of measurement for Bitcoin is called a Satoshi, right? After the creator, Satoshi Nakamoto. So here is a converter, right? 1 Satoshi equals, it looks like 7 zeros and a 1. So it's basically 8 decimal places. So that's 1 Satoshi, right? Which is a fraction of a penny right now. 1 whole Bitcoin is 100 million. 100 million Satoshis, that gets you a whole Bitcoin. And so you can buy any increment that you want. You can get yourself 10 cents, $1, $100, $1 million, whatever it is you can afford if you actually wanted to buy it. So next, let's discuss very quickly on how you can get yourself a piece of Bitcoin. There is a company called Coinbase that exists here in the United States. It's very safe. It's regulated. It's not a bank. So Coinbase is the name. You can go there. It's very easy to sign up. You can create yourself an account, and this gives you a wallet. A wallet you can hold Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies if you so desire to purchase. You link your bank account to it or your debit card, and you can instantly transfer money in and convert it to Bitcoin or whatever crypto you might want to get into. Right? This is super easy. I'm going to put a link in the description below where you can sign up on Coinbase and get your very own account. Okay, so I hope this video has been informative for you. I do appreciate you watching. I know it's probably a little long-winded. This is a very basic overview. There's a lot more to it than that, but this can give you something to talk about, and maybe you and I can talk about it someday after you watch this video. So do me a favor, give me a thumbs up, maybe subscribe if you want to see some more content on this, and have a great day.